and tomorrow I'm the biggest bear out there, so be it.
You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Live to trade another day, live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Is it the bottom yet? I'm tryna buy up everything, not gon' get upset, just pull the trigger, let it bang. When I see a trade, I'm hopping in like a Uber to secure my future, up early just like a rooster, eyes glued to the computer looking for a bag or two. Market cipher on the screen, compliments of trading view. Now I know what I'ma do, buy low and sell high. Even if you try and fail, at least you didn't fail to try. I don't wanna be the type of guy that let fear win. I'm the one that dive in head first and bust my chin. I know FOMO is a no-no, but I still get it in. Now I can't predict the future, but I know I'm bound to win. Later or sooner, I'll be the big kahuna, cause I got big kahunas. I was not scared to get money, I took me some chances and now I'm the big kahuna. And if you scared, might as well get neuter. I'ma keep chasing my dreams, wake up in mansion so big, I need a segue to get from wing to wing. Scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Don't be scared, G, like paid in full, get your bread, B. Cold wallet full of crypto, yeah, Big Lebowski. Can't forget to tip the waitress, fur and loathing in Las Vegas. Tupac told us about the changes, people hating on your greatness. Mansion looking hella spacious, shoes, they ain't got no laces. This the Aquarius age, life happen in different phases. Out with money, in with crypto, analog to digital. Could've been rich, but you was scared, what a imbecile. Say you want a miracle, but you bet the minimal. Should've bet it all, hell no, not the unthinkable. Grow some balls if you got a pair, man, I double dare you to put it all in the market. No sir, I'm not trying to scare you. Seeking and searching, I need some more money. AI is scary, make us look like dummies. Serious about profit, I need it, I'm hungry. My music all over, but I'm from the country. Bank account thicker than Manuka honey. Got multiple wallets, don't go in my pocket. Either's a favorite, but I don't discriminate. Scared to get money, get the hell up out my face. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, live to trade another day, live to make another play. Win some, you lose some, live to trade another, live to trade another day. Scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money, scared money don't make no money. You win some, you lose some, but you live to trade another day, live to make another play. Live to trade another day, live to trade another, live to trade another, live to trade another day, live to trade another, live to trade another day, another day. You scared? You scared?
Hey, what is going on, everyone? Welcome back to the channel. Welcome to Dano Crypto. On this channel, we show you guys how to make simple, effective, and easy moves in the cryptocurrency ecosystem. So we were listening back to some of our audio, and I was realizing I was very a lot of P's. And so I was like, I need to get my pop screen. And it's kind of like an old like studio style pop screen. But I was like, hey, Potter. I was like super P's with my, with super P with my poppy with my P's. So hopefully that works. So hope you guys are doing well. Make sure you hit that like button on the way in, and let me know if this pop screen's actually working, because I don't want to be popping your eardrums while I'm freaking out over here on the mic. But welcome. Hope everyone is doing well. Happy Wednesday. We are going to talk a little bit about gold. We're going to talk about silver, and we're going to talk about how this still could be the leading flashing indicator that we're going to have massive amounts of liquidity going on chain. And we're going to remind you guys about some of the things that Cynthia Lummis, the Wyoming senator, that is basically has been like signaling to us and giving us the hints that they are going to be repricing gold. They are going to be repricing and pricing out the gold that we've had in our reserves. Also, we are going to be using that said gold through the gold certificates that the Federal Reserve holds in each 12 Federal Reserve District banks that are in the United States. They also have these gold certificates. And what are we going to do? We might actually use those gold certificates to then buy Bitcoin. This is going to be very fascinating to see how this is going to then price gold out, and how gold and why gold is going up, because it has to do with also the world debasement of different currencies like the yen, the euro, the ruble, the peso, like all the currencies. The US dollar is being debased right now and is losing strength per the DXY. And we've seen when this has happened, and when we've lost strength in the dollar, it usually means that we're risk on other assets. And so what we need to think about is using this to our advantage and to go full macro instead of focusing on the next 2-3 months. The only thing that we need to be focusing on right now is to double, triple, quadruple down on your investments for the long term, because we are indeed in a metals, AI, and crypto bubble. But these bubbles tend to get pretty damn big when you have trillions and trillions of dollars that are betting on this bubble to continue to grow and expand. And the layers of the bubble get thicker and thicker with what? Liquidity. So then a bubble can get big as long as it has the layers to keep it strong and prop it up. So we are, people think, yes, it eventually will pop. But guess what? This thing might last for 10 years. So if you're getting in right now and not getting convinced that it's going to, quote, crash and burn and we're all going to die, and this is it, cycle top, 4-year cycle, I don't think that's the case. So, and gold and silver are the indicators for this, and the dollar strength index. So we're going to get into it, my friends. Welcome. Hope you're doing really well. We're testing out this new YouTube view. They just updated it. I don't know if I like it or not, but they do have a new option where if you want to watch the stream horizontal and vertical, you can do so. So there's a horizontal option and there's also a full screen option. So that's pretty cool. So we're testing that out. Let me know if you're watching on the vertical version, and let me know how it's looking. All right, so we're going to get into real quick the Bitcoin price here. So what we're seeing here on the daily is a classic Wyckoff pattern here, and it started up from here. We've pointed these out a lot recently on some of the altcoins as well, but then also it's happening on Bitcoin in an institutional macro environment where we have the ETF inflows, but then we also have treasuries. We also have, a lot of liquidity that's coming from all sides into Bitcoin. It's not like it's just driven by one specific thing. It's driven by a lot of different factors. And this is why we're going to just, you think it's going to cool off and then only cools off for a minute and it's still super strong. And it shows that on relative strength indexes that look like they're getting overbought can continue to be overbought, like gold. Gold and silver are like you look at the RSI and it just shows that it's strong. Now that can make us think that, wow, well then not every time we get into a relative strength index that looks like it's overbought, that it's just immediately going to plummet down. Now, sometimes altcoins do this because when we get overbought on altcoins, people tend to sell out a lot faster than something like Bitcoin or gold or silver. And so this is why the market is acting the way it is, which means that you need to be still focusing on long-term accumulation for Bitcoin going into next year and the years after, because that's when it's going to be very, very interesting to see the growth network effect of all of these companies coming on chain. So here's the Wyckoff, here's the volume. We also are displaying this indicator that we are going to continue to work on. We have called it the smooth bullish bearish wave. And then what we've actually noticed in this indicator is that whenever it crosses right here from green to red and gets in the red, that's usually a buy opportunity. And usually if you're catching the slope of the wave right here in the red, then that's a great time to buy. And then once it goes into and flips into the green, that's sometimes a good indication if you're wanting to take profits and sell. And it's actually been pretty good at doing this, especially on the 4 hour. So we might let you guys test out this indicator and see if it works for you. But we're going to really update this and actually put some buy and sell indicators, or basically like if we want to put in where it crosses, you can buy, and then also where it goes into the green and tops out, that would be like a portion where it'll say sell, or we'll have a red dot here and a green dot. So that'd actually be really cool to add the green dots and red dots. So you'll have a green dot on the bottom of the red, and then you have a red dot on the top of the green. And so actually it's pretty, that would be colorly accurate to then get your mind to go, okay, it's green. But there's a red dot. So you're like, when it's red, it's mostly the price action might be going down, but there's a green dot. So you're like, time to strike. So I'm going to test this out. I'm going to see how we can do this. I'm going to see if we can, really make this indicator actually work for us. I don't know. Have you guys ever tested out making your own indicators? It's pretty fun. So yeah. Wyckoff happening on Bitcoin here, and you can see that we had the classic backtest consolidation on the Wyckoff. Now we'll pull up a Wyckoff example real quick so then we can show you. Gosh, I don't know what I just spelled. Okay, there we go. Images. I think I already had one saved, but which was a really good example. This one might be a good one. Yeah. All right, so check this out. And stay with me, guys. Stay with me, guys. I know when I start to get like all teachy and stuff like that, it's like you disappear. You're like, where's the 100x? I want the 100. Just pay attention, all right? I've just been seeing this pattern a lot, and I think it's really important. It's been just showing us that this is how the institutions play. This is what they do, and this is how they shake people out. This is how they get these entries, because it's just what they do. So here you see this pattern. This has a little bit more of a jump around, but you got I call it the resistance through line. That just helps me. The resistance through line is that resistance that you see that's respected, that brings us down to those lows. And a lot of times it creates this W pattern that happens. It goes back and tests the resistance through line on the third time. And on that third time is when it gets a little test and then it goes up and springs from that point, usually matching from the previous price action where it was before. So this is what we're seeing here. But what's interesting about this on Bitcoin is that this is where it's at all-time highs doing this pattern. This is an all-time high pattern. There's no data up here for it to test into besides the recent all-time high. So what we can take from this is that our target would then be 134,000 coming out of this. Look, it's freaking perfect. Look, boom, down into the low, test and resistance through line. Look, it's freaking perfect. Look at it. That's the resistance through line. Here's the back. Here's that double bottom test. And it's a higher low. And look at what it did. Once it hit the resistance through line here, it actually freaking broke through hard. Now it's actually testing at this point of the all-time high. And this is where I think the target is headed. So this is my bullish target for the short term here for Bitcoin is 134,000. And it's just I think it's just gonna pop. I mean, I don't know exactly when it's gonna happen because I mean, we have successfully have done the last phase and wave of the Wyckoff accumulation on the daily chart. So I think it could literally happen at any point now, and then you'll see the RSI kind of follow along with it going into the areas because you can see that we have actually it looks like we're getting a really nice recovery that we could hit that 78 on the RSI. So it looks good. I think it looks good. But now let's get into gold. Gold is showing that with the RSI, like we were talking about, gold can continue to be overbought. We would normally think, oh no, like if we get here, like if this was an altcoin, we would have gone right back down into here. And then we would see a little bit of recovery, but we would go like, but because this is such a hard asset, hard commodity, I should say, a hard commodity, it's showing massive, massive strength still continue to the upside, even though we have been just crushing since July. If we go from this bottom to July, we've gone up 24% on gold since the end of July. So, and then if you go from the bottoming of here, where we really bottomed out on May, it's gone up like 50% or so. It's gone up like 30%. So if this is the case with gold, then I think watching silver, we've talked about this, and we actually charted silver to be breaking up to its all-time highs from the 80s. We're actually hitting into areas from where we had resistance in the 80s. So, and we had resistance in the early in the late 2000s. And so what we're doing is we now tested right up to the level of a third resistance. So what could happen is we could turn this into support, and then we actually go up into the trend line here, and we start trading into $60 an ounce, $69 an ounce. And if we go into the monthly, this would be the highest all-time high trading of silver. And I think silver, this is my, it's like this is my bullish target, macro target would be that we actually get $100 silver because of the cup and handle pattern that you see here. You can see we have a nice big cup. We have the handle right here. And if we do the cup, if we do the depth here from the cup, it brings us right into that area of price of $98. I think it can crush over 100 and get and just because of the nature of what the RSI looks like here, You can see even on our indicator here, we're steady. We're still on an uptrend. You can see the last time we were on this uptrend, we went up 461% from 2008 to March 2012. So in like 6 years, 7 years, yeah, 2008, 9, 10, 11, 12, or 5 years, that was a massive, massive move. Massive move. So silver is looking really, really crazy. And I feel like I want to put a trade in on some silver. Like, where can I get some silver's futures trades? And I think that would just be such a good, like, I don't know. I don't want to say low risk, but just like almost just like a really like mega macro trade, because I know silver, but the thing that I've learned about between why gold and silver are how they trade. Gold trades the way it does because it's not used for everyday use of manufacturing, and tech, in the industrial ecosystem. Silver is used as a product more to actually like make stuff. So the silver's market can't like go too crazy, because then it would increase the prices of things. It would increase the price of most, obviously, the things that are made with silver. Gold, because it's been more so a store of value, and there's a correlation with debasing currencies. So we've went on almost countries are like on the fiat based system and paper money, and they're backed by US dollars and treasuries and things like that. But then also they are backed, it can be backed by gold, or they're just buying gold as their own treasury to protect from their own currency going to crap. And so this is why gold right now is pumping and has been pumping, because if governments are forward thinking, which they are in 100-year cycles, they're not thinking in our like goldfish brain 1 year old, like maybe 10 years. Governments are thinking 50, 100-year plus like master plans of how, if they're smart, so then they don't end up completely irrelevant and gone and basically just destroyed from within. So this is why the United States is doing this whole master plan of using gold and silver and crypto to basically rebase and refinance the national debt to get it cheaper, and to use all of these modalities to be able to pay the debt. There's no other way to pay the debt, because we're just printing money, and then if our dollar is going down, so then we're using the tariffs. The tariffs are then going to, quote, give stimulus to the American people, but then we're going to just use that to then get encouraged to put it into the stock market. So then the institutions are doing this. The 401ks are being pushed into going into the cryptocurrency markets and getting exposure into the ETFs. All the institutions are loading up on the Bitcoin and Ethereum to service the ETFs. So this, I think, could be, if we're in gold, silver, and crypto for the next 10 years, we will be so wealthy. We will be so wealthy, because even though gold is at $4,000, I believe that gold will be trading at like $10,000 an ounce, and silver is going to be trading at like hundreds of dollars an ounce, and then Bitcoin is going to be trading at $1 million per coin. It's going to be a really interesting, weird world, because while there's going to be doomers and people that are still going on these 4-year cycles and they think it's going to just do what it did before, I think they're just going to be wrong. I think they're just gonna be wrong. So I'm willing to bet on it, and I'm willing to bet that these governments, and especially our government, is going to be using all of these modalities to massively pump their bags. And then if we're invested in this, then our bags will go up as well. So I hope you guys are kind of getting tipped on this as well, because we're getting all distracted by so many different things, but we could simplify it in this way. Is just like, look, accumulate, invest, like start to watch where all this money and this liquidity is flowing, and you will just continue to lock in, and you will start to ignore all the noise, here's one big thing that I'm seeing, and we're going to get into the news here just a second, because I'm on a rant mode, baby. I got 2 coffees in me. We got people in the stream. And like I said before, guys, I don't care if there's 1 person watching or 1,000. We're going to put on a show, baby. And that's how you do it. I have a musician skater mentality where I don't quit. I don't need a camera watching me to fall and bust my ass or land this trick. I don't need 5 million people to watch this song that I created with my band. If there's 1 dude that's drunk in the crowd, I don't care. I'm going to give him a show. So this is what we're here to do. We're not going to complain. We're not going to bitch. I'm going to give you the alpha. And I hope you're ready for it. All right. So big signal that I see in all these super apps is that they're all offering crypto services and a way to hold cash, digital cash, and they're all making their own stable coin. Jupiter just made their own stable coin powered by Athena. That's a news. MoonPay doesn't have a stable coin, but they have a cash balance that you can now just top up a MoonPay balance inside the app, and then you can use that to then buy crypto. You can also send that cash to people that use the MoonPay app. That's new. What's another app that's doing this now? There's so many different apps now that are adding cash balances and stable coin balance to get as much users on the app and get the trading volume. And then inside that, they're offering perps and trading. They're offering all of these different things. Ton is a wallet now that has full US capabilities, where before it was restricted. Now you can hold all these different assets in there. You can buy tokenized stocks. You can hold stable coins powered by Athena, where you can earn interest. And it's just, and think about how many users Telegram has. So I start to go into all these things, and this is just, I get super bullish. It is this is the trend. So why would all these companies be setting up for all this stuff for us to then go into a bear market for like another year or something like that? Like, I think this market is not going to be the type of market that had those types of volatile rips to the upside, and then we kind of like had a big downfall. It happened in each cycle that we've had so far, and one of the biggest ones was the capitulations of all the exchanges and just the crashes, Luna crash. I mean, we just had a lot of stuff happen that had contributed to this. You know, you look at this, and the only explanation I can give this is that, you know, we basically from here, we all during this time is where we had all that capitulation, and then look how long this thing has been stretched. It's just been stretched. And so, and we've had to have all of these different regulatory like frameworks be built and scaffolding to then set us up for us going into a completely different financial age. This is like TradFi dying off slow death. And then now it was like, now the stretch is like, okay, guys, if we don't pivot and start offering all these different services, we're going to lose all of our customers because they're going to realize they could just pull up their phone and just send money. And just like once people realize they can actually do that, boom, boom, boom. All the remittance people, all the people in the world that are still using Western Union, get out of here, man. I mean, wait until Western Union builds their own blockchain. That's going to be hilarious. Mark my freaking words. Western Union is going to go shit. And then they're going to build their own blockchain because they just lost all users. Because they all just started to realize that we all have smartphones. That's what's so funny about some of these countries that are not as wealthy as America, or some of these countries that you just, it's like commonplace for people to like, you know, basically have like a job and you know, can put a roof over their head and have a smartphone. Some of these places, people are in poverty, but they have a smartphone. That's what's like, you go to places that are like, have a high poverty rate, people still have access to smartphones. And so do you see where this thing, and people don't have access to like that kind of banking. So it's like, just imagine. So this is why I think the market really, truly, it's like, it's a lot of factors, but when you pull it all together, it totally makes sense. Like, it totally makes sense why we've had this type of market, and it really has confused a lot of people. You know, it's made people think that like, should, you know, it has sidelined a lot of people. It really has sidelined a lot of people, and it makes sense why most people that are even in crypto don't own as much Bitcoin as they really wanted to, because PTSD, because of post-traumatic stress disorder of being in crypto and losing your hair and starting to get gray hairs from trying to figure this stuff out. But I think it's worth the pain. It's worth the prerequisites of getting rocked, getting wrecked, having your portfolio go to freaking 0 5 times over. It's worth it, because this is the only industry, I think, in the entire world, and I say this with 100% truth, and I believe this is the only industry in the entire world right now where you can become a millionaire faster than any freaking thing ever. But it's not easy. You have to go through pain. And so this is why we're here, and this is why you're here, because you might feel that too. You're like, oh, I just feel it in my bones. You feel it when people laugh at you, when people spit in your face, when people look at you like you are insane for being in crypto, let alone making content about it. So let me kick the soapbox away. Hold on. All right, the soapbox is gone, guys. All right, let's get into the show. All right, Sproto takeover. Check it out. OpenSea, if you guys didn't know, is bullish ticker Bitcoin. It's like when you ask, what's the ticker? Do you know that actually spanned and came from ticker Bitcoin? Because in the early days, in 2023, you would say, well, what's the ticker? What's the ticker's Bitcoin? The ticker is and always will be Bitcoin. But OpenSea acknowledged that the ticker is in fact indeed Bitcoin, and they are bullish Sproto Gremlins. So Sproto Gremlins, I think, is, if you look at the Sproto Gremlins, it is one of the most unique AI-generated collections on crypto Twitter and on the NFT space as a whole. And I'm not saying that because I like the ticker Bitcoin or because I'm biased or because it's my favorite coin, also my favorite NFT project. It's because that is just a perceptual fact, because it combines something like Andy Warhol. It combines these colors that just like it really ignites the senses, and it causes curiosity, and it really does bring you down this and when you see them literally like take over your account and on the timeline, and then you just start like the Sprotos will just come out of nowhere. It's almost like these little they're almost like the dancing bears of the Grateful Dead. Did you guys ever see those on a mushroom trip? I had a friend told me about his mushroom trip where he was laying in bed and thought the trip was over, and it kept starting back over, and every time it would start back over, it was the dancing Grateful Dead bears in a circle constantly dancing, reminding me that no, it's not over. I said, oh wow, okay. That's what it feels like. And guys, I'm sorry about the comments. My restream got all messed up, so I can only see the YouTube comments kind of coming in, and when the X comments are coming in, it's there. If I'm not looking at the screen, my comment screen over here, then I'm not going to see it. They're popping up fast. But shout out to all the Sprotos that are watching on X. Mike Sproto said, it's because Sprotos are good and doodles are bad. Do not get baited into buying VC-backed scam profile pictures. Well, there's a comparison to certain personality types of PFPs on crypto Twitter, because if you're a Sproto, you're immediately like, asking for a friend, Mike Sproto. Yeah, like if you miladies have a certain personality, the Bored Ape people have a certain type of personality. It's like, they have certain traits. The crypto punks, they're the smarty pants. It's like the crypto punks are the maxis. The Bored Apes are they're kind of, they're on the fence. They're questionable. But the Sprotos are just fun little cheeky little gremlin gnomes that show up and they're here to have fun. And we're all autistic, ADHD, on the spectrum a little bit. We're musicians, we're artists, we're skateboarders, we're carpenters, builders, tradesmen. That's the Sprotos. Super soldiers. That's who the Sprotos are. They're freaking super soldiers. You didn't know. Once a ticker Bitcoin, always a ticker Bitcoin holder. And the thing with this is that it's been such a nice like build of anticipation, like, and it's caused a lot of different emotions for people. But what I like to point out about this chart is it's the heartbeat of the meme culture. Every high was euphoric meme excitement. And it was the peak of each of these euphoric meme excitements that ticker Bitcoin followed the trend very nicely and created a floor of opportunity. That's what I call it, a floor of opportunity. And so you have to become a believer. And at this point of holding any meme coin through multiple different drawdowns, drawbacks, and then becoming a believer, it's tough. It's not easy. But I think truly, and this is not just with ticker Bitcoin, whatever meme has a similar type of chart where it's had nice recoveries and you're holding it and you didn't sell, you're a super soldier. You're a legend. You have diamond balls. And people will try and convince you, oh, you're dumb, you didn't sell, oh my gosh, you're an idiot. But then if you look at the Dogecoin whales, the Shiba Inu whales, any whale that's a whale now, what did they do? They didn't rotate. They didn't chase green candles. They didn't go, oh, this one's pumping. Let me switch this one for that. No, they kept buying and they DCA'd like a crazy person, delusional, like where they were like, they were questioning their own sanity by doing this. But then there's a point where every cycle we've gotten to a euphoria. And then that was when they looked at their wallet and said, oh my God. I finally did it. Like, not just like 100,000, not just like 200. No, they looked at it and it said like a couple million. And then you're like, oh, okay. Now I get it. You're not a gambler. You're not a timer. You're not a swapper. You're just like, I believe in these coins and it's not time yet. And then I'll give you a little secret. Here's my secret. You want to know what my secret is? What I think is going to be the true alpha here? And you'll laugh. You'll go, really? Is that yes, it is. I'm going to freaking tell you right now. Litecoin. I noticed something with Litecoin. Every time, and this is a indication of when you would want to maybe think about taking some profits and thinking that we're in that euphoric point of altcoins. Litecoin and each altcoin season, we've only had 2 altcoin seasons. Because the other bull markets with Bitcoin included like barely any alts. When we got into 2008, 17, and 16, 17, and 18, we had way more coins. And then fast forward going into 2020 and 2021, way more coins. And now we go in here, more coins, more liquidity, more stuff. And so I think that we're gonna just go into this area. And it even significates with my smooth bullish bearish wave line that look right here is where we have crossed into a bullish trend territory. I think Litecoin is going to go into that similar little pinch portion here, range of 269 to about, I think, $500. I think we're going to get a $500 Litecoin. We've gotten close. We've gotten up to about at all-time high of Litecoin was $420 Litecoin. I think we could easily get to that point, and you bet your butt, you better look at your altcoin bag at that point, because then you're really going to be thinking about wanting to sell. Because I think at that point, we're going to be in Q1 of 2026. Okay? Which means we have 6-7 months up until that point. Okay? And at that point, if we can wait and hold long enough and just oh my gosh, just resist and retain everything, not just ticker Bitcoin, but everything. Just continue to be like, no, it's not enough. It's not enough. Look at this BTC ETH ratio on the monthly. We're not there yet, my friends. We're not freaking there yet. If you call for a freaking bear market right now, I will scream at you. I'm going to scream at you. Okay. Ticker Bitcoin. I think at that point in Q1 is going to be possibly well past $1. I don't know. I like to hope and dream, but I mean, dang it, even if it just gets halfway there, that's still super freaking bullish. But I just think the entire meme economy in general is just going to go insane. We are one of those that I really do believe that the memes, in terms of an ecosystem in crypto is going to be 2 trillion on its own. We've seen it go to about 127 billion all-time high for memes, just memes. We are going to have between $1 and $2 trillion meme economy. It's going to explode. And just look at the trading volume of these tokens. It's insane. We didn't want to get into it, but there's a lot of Binance Chinese alpha happening right now. Aster, Binance, this whole connection with all these, like the Binance season happening right now. It's pumping. It's going to continue to probably pump, but guess what? It's probably going to rotate back into Solana and also TON, AVAX, SUI. So get ready. So if you're jumping into the BNB thing right now, just know you're riding top momentum, okay? But if you want to get into the next rotation, I would be positioning yourself into SUI, TON, Tron, all the other stuff that was just popular, not just a couple months ago, and it just proves that the people that are the crypto Twitter people, they're just going like this, you know? So what you could be doing is saying, all right, of course, you know, everyone's going to be chasing the green candles of Binance, but just wait. We're going to get action coming back right back into all these other ecosystems. And it's just, I don't know. That just seems like an obvious thing to me right now. Because we saw the same thing happen when we had like Aster, Hyperliquid, all those protocols were promoting their decks, and then Apex was like, "Did you guys read about me?" Boom, and then all of a sudden we got $600 million, $700 million of volume over the next 7 days after that. So it was just like, all right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really do appreciate it. Let's see. That's so funny. Do I really have only 2 people watching on YouTube? What the hell? Jeez, man. Yeah, YouTube has been really just not being nice. They are not being nice. I don't care. It's not gonna bother me. It's not gonna bother me. You 3 people are gonna be richer than the other people that aren't on the stream. So, just how it is. The 3 people that are watching on YouTube, 4 people, however many people, I don't give a shit. You're gonna be richer. You're gonna be just a little bit smarter. How about that? All right, how many people do we have on Twitter? See, Twitter knows what's up, though. Twitter knows what I'm talking about. They know when Dano starts to get educational that they need to listen up and not be like, oh, well, he started trying to teach us. Let's get out of here. But hey, it is what it is, you know. And what's funny is, like, you know, we got 1 million people looking at Ansem, and he was like, oh, my gut says 100K. We've been over here for months being bullish, even though we didn't make a lot of money doing it. I don't care. I want you guys to make money. Who cares if I'm an idiot? I was still right. While all these mother effers are being so bearish and wrecking their community by 100K. My gut says 100K. I didn't take enough probiotics this week. Ansem doesn't give a crap because he already made the money. He was already trading. That's why he's like, 100K. But he doesn't realize that there's like thousands of people that are like trying to figure out what the heck to do. And so I'll tell you what my main frustration is about why I don't have enough people watching my channel is because I'm more right than these people that have more followers. Doesn't say I'm not, I'm 100% have been wrong too. But shit, I've had a pretty damn good track record so far. So it pisses me off. And rightfully so. Go back. I got the damn receipts. That's what's cool about live streaming. I got recorded evidence of me being bullish. But no, listen to those guys. Listen to those guys, please. And I've given you more education. Instead, you got these dudes coming up, slapping their hands and being like, yo, bro, man, so you made a lot of money. Yeah, dude, you're not actually explaining anything to anyone. So, where's my third coffee? Where's my third coffee at? My manager just looked through the window and she was like, you need to, okay, cut it. I'm like, let's do it live. We're going to do it live. While you got all these fake people out here, I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm going to give it to you real. I'll even tell you, I made zero money from all of this bullishness. I don't care. I'll tell you that. But guess what? I still came to the timeline and gave you guys an opportunity to make money. I died on my own sword. I was like, you guys can take all the money. I freaking harakiri'd myself. I don't care. The ticker's Bitcoin. Here, a word from our sponsors.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
What just happened? Hope you guys have enjoyed the show so far. All right, let's continue. Trump derangement syndrome is alive and well. Bitcoin overtakes Ethereum in ETF inflow, signaling market shift. We saw Binance flip XRP. Is that still the case? Yeah. Holy moly. Woo. Shows, I guess we can't bet against Binance and CZ and the sandworms. That is Binance. Bitcoin ETFs are pulling in 10 billion per quarter. 10 billion per quarter. What that means for supply and price. So institutional purchases of Bitcoin in 2025 already outpaced new supply by a factor of 7.4. So that means at the rate of ETFs having to buy the Bitcoin to service for the retail and for the institution, guess what? Not enough Bitcoin to go around. What does that do? Supply chains on exchanges go lower and price appreciation goes up. And that is what is going to happen over the next few years. And this is why Bitcoin will eventually go to $1 million per coin. Limited supply, 21 million coins. that's already has the supply. The supply has been mined. 98% of the supply has been mined. There's only like 2 to 5%, I think, of the supply left to mine, and then there's no more Bitcoin to actually mine out of the supply. The only way that miners are going to make fees and transaction fees, especially over time when we get to the next halvenings, they keep decreasing in rewards, but we have to continue to mine because we have to validate the transactions because the miners are the nodes. And so they're still going to mine the transactions, because a big question that people have sometimes when they think about Bitcoin is that what's going to happen when all the Bitcoin is mined? Well, the miners still have to mine because they're validating transactions because of the network, how it works. In order for a transaction to get sent from one address to another, it has to solve the block. And then once the block is solved, and there's multiple different transactions inside of one block because there's memory in the block, it's not just your transactions, it's a bunch of transactions that get batched into one block. And then the miners then divvy out the fees, and you get transaction fees, and then that's how they make money. And then when they solve a block, sometimes they get rewarded, and then there's like the magic, the solo miners that get rewarded a whole Bitcoin for solving a block. Super rare, but it happens. But just think of that on like a scale of like, like massive level. So this is how the network effect and the supply shock actually truly start to happen. And I think a lot of people, because they're not educating themselves on what actual supply and demand means, then this is why Bitcoin's appreciating. Because there's only very few things in the world that have this type of network price dynamic built into it. You don't know who built it. There's nothing in the world that has this mechanism built into it. This is why some people think, like CZ thinks it was an AI from the future. Like straight up, but with the help of Adam Beck and Hal Finney, all those dudes, all the crypto cypherpunks that were already writing papers. Guess what? This is why it's so elusive of who actually created Bitcoin, because it could have been something like an immaculate conception. And this is why it's so crazy that even though I think, we have this threat of quantum computing, I think it's BS. I think there's no way that it's ever going to be cracked, and Bitcoin will be the treasure trove. And this is going to be one of the biggest, craziest stories of finance in history of all time. Like, we will be referencing this period right now, going into the next 25, 30 years and being like, oh my gosh. Like, whoa. So stop thinking so small-minded all the time. You might be a damn Bitcoin cyborg in 15 years. If you really just lock in. Have you thought about that? Have you thought about getting the best healthcare you could ever imagine getting? Because you decided to triple, quadruple, double down. Best healthcare you'd ever get for your family, best medicine, everything the best. The best. You get everything the best in America when you're under this type of administration. When you're bullish Bitcoin, you never sell your Bitcoin. And then you just tell them, we got the best stuff here. But I'm just, all jokes aside, for real. Stop thinking small-minded. You are here for a reason. You're here to change your entire bloodline's life. Your whole family's story changes now. That story that you have told is over. You are telling a new story now. It's one of wealth, abundance, health, prosperity, and we're done with the old bullshit. This is where we're at right now, my friends. This is where we're at. Make sure you guys visit danocrypto.com. Make sure you visit danocrypto.com. Make sure you guys check out all the links in the description. It's the best way you can support the channel. How much Bitcoin do I have? You're not supposed to ask people how much Bitcoin they have. You're not supposed to ask people how much crypto they have. You could be talking to a crypto whale and they had probably have gone to zero 7 times. And then they became a millionaire. Maybe they became a millionaire 5 times and lost it all, and then they became so it all depends on when you're asking someone. So it doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'll tell you how much ticker Bitcoin I have. We all get the price of Bitcoin that we deserve. That's all I got to say.
Do everything.
Let's see what Ivan on Tech has to say about the Bitcoin ETF is about to become the quickest ETF ever to surpass 100 billion. So of course the FCA banned it in the UK, so nobody here could benefit. That's so terrible. Yeah, I don't know what is the UK doing, man. Like I am so sorry that people in the UK like are having to deal with this. Like it's just crap. You know, it's not cool. It's really not cool because it's like, yeah, we could get into all kinds of stuff about it, but it really is bullcrap. It really is bullcrap because it's like there are people there. They're just trying to navigate life with their family, new families. And they're just like being bombarded with things that aren't benefiting them at all. Like, and that's just the honest truth. And that was how the past 4 years was in America, where we were like, what is happening? Like, we have so many people suffering and we have so many people and so many problems in America. And we're just siphoning out all of our freaking money to all these other countries while we have people here hurting and suffering. It defies all principle and logic of how you're supposed to run a country. And it's interesting because I was watching some Charlie Kirk clips, and that dude really explained very eloquently and with backed up history of why America had suffered and was suffering for so long. Because we lost the fundamental values of what built the country to begin with. And so it's almost like it was purposefully done to make the American people feel confused, feel scared, and be basically easily more manipulated without a solid foundational base to be able to take care of yourself and your family. You ended up having more fear and then relying on the system where they are 100% were trying to manipulate you while giving you the least amount of help whilst outsourcing everything else for other people that weren't Americans. How is that right? How is that right? That doesn't make you altruistic. It doesn't make you it doesn't make you a saint because you're like, oh, we're helping the world. No, you just abandoned your people and then make us feel bad for it and say it's our problem. So that doesn't work. It doesn't work. It obviously doesn't work. And the American people actually spoke up about it finally by voting.
Everything in their power to stop British people succeeding. That's correct. That's correct. Also, you have Revolut co-founder Nick now moving from UK to UAE and moving his tax residency now to.
And this is what was happening is that all the rich people in America were like, we're about to go. We're about to go. They were like, I'm out. They were about to exit out of America and leave America because they were going to try and go somewhere else to do their business, because they were like, we're not going to do business here if this is the type of environment we're going to have to be in. So now the UK is going to be experiencing this, where rich people just be like, bye. We'll just go to another place.
To the UAE as well.
Guess where a lot of these people might end up? The United States.
So if he sells Revolut, he pays 0 tax, exactly. And, some people are saying it's a loss for UK, this and that. But I think the government, they should be happy, because especially Labour, they don't like the rich. They never say anything good about the rich. They never say, great guys, we love you for doing job, we love you for this. They never say anything good about rich. In many cases, they say eat the rich. So they should be happy, I think. Why isn't Keir Stalin celebrating? Because now this rich dude is no longer in the UK. So UK has less rich dudes, which is great because they didn't like them. So I think everything is fully fair. Everything is fully fair. I mean, if you don't feel welcome and they don't want you, fantastic. It's a win-win. Keir Stalin doesn't have to deal with the rich guy.
That's funny. It's so interesting. It's like, why would you want those people that built these companies in your country, and you can tax them? You can I would want to be friendly with those guys. It's like you would want to be friendly with Elon and Jeff Bezos and make sure they continue to incentivize doing business in America. Because, and it's not like, and here's the thing though, there's a fine line there, because you don't want it to be conflict, invested interest, blah, blah, blah. There's a lot of that going on. But at the end of the day, it's just like, hey, if you're going to do business in America, let's do business in America. Of course, you're going to have international contracts, but hey, you have a invested mutual interest to keep more of your business here in America, because, well, if you don't, we're going to just tariff you anyway. So do you see the chess moves that's happening here in this administration that wasn't happening beforehand? Which I think is a beautiful thing. All right, guys, do we need to talk about anything else? Hope you guys have enjoyed it so far. Oh, we got 8 reposts. Let's go. The Twitter is pumping, but the YouTube sometimes is just a little laxy. Oh, sorry. Well, I usually see the all of the messages on my chat, but my chat's all messed up. So if I'm not looking at this screen, then I don't see it. So what were you saying, Pork and Lamb? I gotta go to the Twitch. Can I see it? Yeah, just tell me again. Yeah, my chat's been all jacked up. Go to Twitch. There we go.
The spine, I was like, oh man, it was fucking wild. Fucking wild.
What is going on?
Fucking wild.
What? Stop playing that. What is going on? I go up on Twitch, and the first stream that I go on, it's like it has someone saying the F word. I'm like, jeez. Sorry, guys. I'm just trying to look at the chat, but I can't find it. Or whatever. All right, so as of the hour, Zcash back up 4%. Monero Looks like these privacy coins coming up. World Liberty Fi, haven't seen much talk about World Liberty Fi at the token, at least. 1.7%. Conflux 2.9%. What is this? Double Zero up 2.4%. Fast token. It's Chain Opera AI 45%. And just looking at on the year here, some of the best performers had been Mantle, HBAR, SPX, Stellar Lumens, Zcash. A lot more than this. Seems like it's that's just in the top 100. You go to, the top 100 to 200. Altcoin, 1,484%. You go to the 200 to 300. Gotta go fast. Make sure you guys, if you haven't sent anyone to this website, danocrypto.com, right when they go to it on their mobile, they will be asked to do a Bitcoin trivia. And just in this trivia, they will learn some things about Bitcoin. Yeah, the total cryptocurrency market cap is in that cup and handle pattern we've been talking about. I think we're going to see just a massive, massive growth coming in here. 7 trillion total cryptocurrency market cap is my target. That is my target for the overall cryptocurrency markets. 7 trillion. It's looking pretty good. Now we were talking about how, gold, silver is a global debasement trade, because all currencies, if they're strong currencies, have a connection with the US dollar, because the US dollar is the world reserve currency. And so most strong currencies have stake in the US dollar. And so all these currencies now are starting to debase into gold, because the dollar as the world reserve currency looks like crap. And what's funny is that a lot of people are trying to compare this as to the bubble of the 2000s with the S&P rally and how it is, and the tech stocks speculating on an AI growth way over like some people think the growth of AI is over speculated. I think those people are boomers, and they're going off of old data. They're like, yeah, looks like the internet, but I don't think they probably realize the nature of how much the bubble could grow. That's my case against it, that it's just going to be like, oh, it's going to hit this point, then it's just going to do this big bubble crash. And then there's going to be like, phoenixes rising from the ashes out of that, which was Amazon and all these different companies out of the dot-com bubble. And then that was who ended up taking a lot of the market share, when then a lot of other companies died, didn't survive it. We don't want to take that completely off the table, but there could be some big correlations of how this thing could really actually, here's like this, how NVIDIA and OpenAI fuel the AI money machine. Because look, here it all is based on NVIDIA. Well, this is so crazy. It's all based on GPU, and who has actually been powering it all is NVIDIA. So here it starts with NVIDIA at the center, 4.5 trillion, and you have Oracle who is connected with OpenAI with links to its cloud deal. And then Oracle spends tens of billions on NVIDIA chips. XAI spends money on NVIDIA chips. Figure AI needs NVIDIA. Mistral, Nscale. Then AMD, we just had the announcement that OpenAI is to deploy 6 gigawatts of AMD GPUs. AMD gives OpenAI option to buy up to 160 million shares, which ultimately then soared AMD 40% on the day. The AMD stock. So there was speculation that Intel could have gotten that deal, but they didn't make the deal. AMD got the deal. And so then you have OpenAI, which is a $500 billion, corporation. Also, OpenAI is part of the investment into the AI race with the United States in competition against China with DeepSeek and all of that. Ambience Healthcare, Harvey AI, Anysphere. Then you have Microsoft, that's 3.9 trillion, kind of sitting around and also kind of, obviously getting exposure. They are investing in NVIDIA. So all of this is going into NVIDIA, and which is powering all of this at the same time. And so, I think this bubble could just continue to get bigger and bigger, and we could really see some interesting things happen. Let's see if there's any other things that is of note. Oh, here you go. Elon Musk's XAI is raising $20 billion, including $2 billion from NVIDIA to finance AI chips for its Colossus 2 project. People familiar said the deal will be split between equity and debt, allowing XAI to rent NVIDIA processors for 5 years. You got to remember what Tesla's doing. They're building these they have these Optimus robots that they've been testing, and guess what? It's literally going to be a AI robot movie scene where they're going to be rolling out options for retail people to buy a Optimus robot for the price of a car, and you will have a AI robot in your house. You think that's like science fiction movie stuff, and you just don't realize that how fast that growth is going to happen. You don't realize that literally in the next 2 years, there's going to be a group of a bunch of rich people that have robots in their house as the nanny, as the dinner, as the making doing the hard labor, doing manual labor stuff around in the house. I don't know why you guys, if you're not thinking that's going to happen in the next 2 years, you really need to get your brain wrapped around it, because that's where people think that it's like 10 years down the line. I think it's like 2. I think it's like 2 to 3 robots in the house. You don't think the system in the Matrix is not already had hinted at that through Kim Kardashian laying in the bed with the damn Optimus robot, going on car rides with the robot? Give me a freaking break. So the AI bubble, what do you think is powering this? What do you think the AI agents that are going to be working for all these damn companies are going to be doing and transacting? And they're all going to be transacting on the blockchain powered by massive AI data, servers, farms, facilities. And you bet your butt America is going to want to be the leader in this. And what is it all going to be powered by? And what's the settlement layer for all this? It's crypto. There's no other thing that can handle it or do it or be used with smart contract technology. There's nothing else. That's why crypto is going to be a 40 trillion more asset class. If gold is $25 trillion right now, There's no way that the entire cryptocurrency ecosystem that will be the settlement layer for AI, which is then a massive, industry. This is why I think we're going to be so rich. We're going to be so rich, guys. I can't wait. I can't wait for us to be so patient and just be rewarded massively. All of us. We are underestimating the nature of this right now. We are so underestimating the nature of this right now. It is imperative that we really, really start to wrap our heads around the next 2 to 3 to 5 years of the growth of what is happening here. It's massive. Massive, 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 massive. Look, NVIDIA shares rise after CEO Hong says AI computing demand is up substantially. Every single company that is forward thinking right now is adding AI support or AI functionality inside of their business, whether it be an AI assistant when you go onto the website that helps you navigate the website, whether it be an AI agent that will be representing you as your person to do things for you so you don't have to. That's what's going to happen. We got a little taste and a teaser of the AI agent, but we're not realizing that we're going to be able to literally copy and paste ourselves as a AI agent to do stuff that we don't want to do. All the tasks that we used to have to do as humans online or with our finances or with anything will be handled by an AI agent if you can afford it. And what's going to power that is blockchain. And if you're invested in blockchain and in AI and where this liquidity is going, you will be in that portion of people that are having minuscule tasks and things done for you by robots and AI. So then you can have more time with your family. That's the good thing about it. Now, we'll go to the rabbit hole and see how the other side of that double-edged sword, because it's a sword, we can slice other stuff and have it be positive, but we have to know that there is another side to this sword, and there could be negative implications of us going down this road, which is not that, okay, it's solving all these problems. It could also create problems, because then we go down the road of how many jobs now are gone, how many people just went from going from middle class to then going to poverty because they lost their job. What are we going to do with those people? Because they're not going to be living in this utopia of robots and AI agents doing everything for you and sitting on the island. Yeah, that might be us, but guess what? There's going to be thousands of people that got sidelined and lost everything and didn't look into the future to prepare themselves, and now they are waiting for a government stimulus check or a stable coin to get put in their wallet, and if they don't spend it at the end of the month, it just goes back into the pool because it's a smart contract. Did you ever think about that? That's literally going to happen. Mark my words right now. We will have a universal basic income for all the people that are going to lose their jobs from all of this AI growth. And this is what is going to happen by necessity of society not collapsing and revolting in the fact that people can't work. Okay? Because that's the issue. Because yeah, cool, AI growth, robots, blah, blah, blah. Guess what? Hundreds of thousands of people are going to be hungry and they get desperate. People that have families, people that have to take care of themselves, they start getting hungry and they can't feed their families, they get desperate. Crime starts to happen. People do irrational things. Fear, uncertainty, and doubt take over, and it will be chaos and it will be bad. So what do we need to do? This is where I am a little democratic and a little bit on the side of like, okay, we do need to have something set. We can't operate in a capitalist society fully like this for those people because, oh, just pull up your bootstraps, just start a company. Dude, they're on the freaking street, bro. Like, they got to get money now or they're going to do something they regret doing. Give them the freaking money. If you can print the damn money, right, and you're minting coins out of freaking thin air, then giving someone $1,500 or $2,000 in a stable coin because if you are generating tariff revenue and it's going to go back into into the system, then let's pay some of these people so they don't burn the damn thing to the ground. And some people say, oh, well, they'll just waste it. They're not going to spend it. They're just lazy anyway. That's not the case. That's BS. That's black and white crap. I don't like that. Because I see it. I know how people are living out there. Dude, if we even got $1,000 right now as a stimulus, dude, people will be on their knees crying because they didn't know what else they were going to do. Just $1,000 would make thousands of people right now fall on their knees and cry. That's the truth. So thousands of people are going to be out of a job. This is not fear mongering. This is truth. It's already happening. This is why I am doubling, tripling, quadrupling down on learning this industry and making sure I am going to protect my family and my bloodline, and I am not going to be in a freaking breadline. I'm not going to be waiting and being like, oh, I got to wait for the government to give me the stimulus. I'm not going to be like that. So we got to lock in. We got to lock in, my friends. It's time to lock in. If you're not drinking creatine, start taking it right now. If you haven't taken any creatine, you need to start taking it right now. You need to drink 3 coffees. You need to drink 3 coffees a day. You need to take 25 grams of creatine, and you need to lock in. Put some W's in the chat if you agree with me. You need to be taking more creatine. You need to be drinking 3 coffees. Oh, man. we were having fun on this live stream. This is a fun one. W's. But honestly, guys, like, here's the thing. Like, when I'm breaking this stuff down, I don't hear like like there's some people that are kind of talking and bringing all this stuff, like what I'm talking about, how I break it down. Like, I'm gonna give myself credit. I don't care if it sounds like I'm conceited, because I'm not conceited, but I know when I feel like I'm actually like have a pretty good dial on this. And I really do wish more people were watching this, because I feel like I would get them fired up. They'd be like, dang, I'm getting fired up right now. That's what I want to do. I want to get people, because like, this is what we need. We need the spark. There's too much of things that are going to try and make us discouraged, or not like be like fired up, and be like, let's do this thing. Let's actually have the fire inside, the passion. AFI, baby. You want to know what AFI stands for? A fire inside. I want a mohawk, but my mama let me get one. Ooh. Soul rotation. Yep. I'm saying, yeah, that soul rotation. I feel it. You guys are wondering. I bet you're wondering, man, should I jump on that BNB train right now? You're thinking to yourself, oh man, that BNB train is popping. We got $23 billion of volume, and you know, I think Solana was basically up at that point. I would wonder where it was just before Binance was like kind of crushing it. Because Binance is dirty, man. You realize that Binance uses Wintermute and all those different market makers to dump Solana and Ethereum so then they can prop up their own coin, BNB. And they 100% did that because it was on chain. You can't hide it. They did that. And that's why, if you're wondering why Ethereum hasn't broken all-time high and why Solana hasn't broken all-time high, is because the sandworm came in and said, and then now they're being scammed to the upside. That Chinese money coming in hot. So never underestimate the power of using all of the liquidation money that was made. And so why I'm telling you this is because a lot of people are going to jump on this Binance train, and a lot of them are going to get wrecked. You're not going to make a lot of money, and you should have already been in it, and you're too late. I'm being honest. You're too late. There's only going to be a couple that are going to run up, and then yes, cool. But then, sorry, you're too late. We should have already been in there. Basically, your opportunity to have bought into BNB was when Captain BNB and CZ's dog and all that stuff was happening. All you had to do was double down and load up and buy and just hold until now and be selling. And that's what sucks. It's like, yeah, and all it took was just to do nothing. All you had to do was just buy and say it'll rotate. Because all during that time, then it went out of BNB, that stopped, and then it went back into Solana a little bit. We started getting the pump fund, the string, and then look what's happening now. So I think if we're smart, Solana's not going anywhere. What do you think? Everyone's gonna be like, oh, let me just stay on BNB. No, people are just tourists. They're just gonna go back to Solana. They'll go back to Ethereum. They're gonna go to Base. They're gonna go back to TON and all this stuff. And this is where I feel like it's gonna happen. So and it's funny because like we were like thinking about that. We're like, man, but I think what stopped, honestly, I'll tell you, I'll be completely honest. What stopped me from paying attention to anything that Binance was doing is because I feel like Binance is operating very unethically, and I think it's against, and honestly, I really do believe this. I think it's against God. I think it is. I'm going to be completely honest. I think it's BS how much they manipulate the market and how they encourage everyone to do this stuff, and in the background, they are wrecking people. And I don't like that. I don't like it. I think it's dirty. I think it's not cool. And I honestly, I think it's ridiculous. And so I don't want to support it. And every time I feel like I'm going to get into Binance and buying BNB and all that stuff, I'm like, I don't like it. Sorry. I don't like it. And maybe it has not made me money. Maybe I would have made money for being more bullish on it. But you know what? I don't like it. And I don't agree with it. And it goes against my ethics. And there you go. I don't like it. It makes me mad. And then you can go as far as Solana. Stuff that they've allowed as well. Kind of scammy. But I'd say who takes the cake? Binance. And I don't care if I'm in crypto. I'm not going to kiss the ring. I'm not going to kiss the ring, CZ. While everyone else will kiss your ring, I'm not doing it. So, yeah, that's how I feel about that. But I don't know if you guys I don't know. I feel like that sometimes about things. It's just like you get this feeling. You're just like, you know what? Yeah. I don't, whatever. I'm not going to mess around with that. Yeah. Yeah. But it's tricky out there, guys. You know, this is why we're here. We're trying to navigate it. We're trying to find our way. I think most people here in the space are trying to find their way, and that's okay. That's a good place to be. And this is why I like that there's all this competition, because then we can kind of just see how the market's gonna, we're gonna see how the market treats itself. We're gonna see how the market treats itself. That at the end of the day, you could be convinced that Binance is like, oh, we're here for the market to go up. But then in the background, if they're wrecking all the other things that are to actually like with the industry, then they wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing. They wouldn't be doing the things that they're doing at all. So, but we just have to know that where there's an opportunity for people to scam you and make money and wash as much wash as they can, they're going to do it until they can't. Until Binance and all these exchanges will go to, like, you're going to shut you down if you wash trade, then they're going to keep doing it. Until they are threatened that you won't be able to operate anymore, then, but I just don't know. I don't know how long do you think that's going to last? Because Marty Party will make it like, he's like, look, that's not going to be able to go on for very much longer with the nature of how crypto is becoming a more regulated. And why do you think Binance is putting so much money and attention on Aster? It's decentralized. Now, do you see where the connections are coming? Why these exchanges? Because they're like, oh, jig is up. We're probably not going to be able to do this for much longer. So now let's put the volume over here. Pretty funny, huh? Yeah, we're going to have to all navigate this, but yeah, guess what? We're going to make money. And hopefully we can do it ethically and in the alignment with God, because if you're not, God's not going to let you make that money. And if you do make the money, you're probably most likely going to lose it. So let's try and actually make it ethically and hopefully do it in a sound way, which is usually just buying and holding. That's usually like the best way. And I think that is the way that God intends us to become rich, is to like be patient, be grateful, and also be perceptive and have a good perception of what's actually happening. And then we can succeed. So with that being said, guys, thank you for tuning in. I really do appreciate you guys tuning in today. Just give a shout out to all the people that are watching on all platforms. I really do appreciate it. Make sure you hit the like button on the way in and out whenever you're watching these live streams. And I would love for you guys to share it with a friend. Share it with someone who needs to learn about crypto, or get a massive rant to the face about why they should be even like having some type of strategy, investment strategy, why they should be learning about this stuff, and have an urgency to get a plan going. Send it to those people if you feel like they need it. All right. I love you guys. Appreciate you. And I'll see you on the next one.
This token is the end game. It's the shitcoin of shitcoin. I mean, imagine telling your coworkers you're quitting because Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you coin. Boom! Imagine the media reporting on Harry Potter, Obama, Sonic 10, and you. Ticker is Bitcoin, breaking 1 billion market cap. Now, unless you hate money, go ahead and visit
HPOSNI.com.
Hey everyone. I just wanted to show you a really quick metric that I found fascinating. So 41% of the people that have been watching this channel and actually liking the channel and the content have not subscribed. 41% of you, but I will say 58% of you subscribed. Amazing. You guys are doing awesome. But I want to say that the people that are not subscribed yet, please, won't you consider subscribing to the channel and joining the Dojo crew where we are educating ourselves. We're in the markets every single day. We're live streaming Monday through Friday, and we're also posting content on a daily basis that is keeping up with these cryptocurrency markets. And this is where the money is flowing right now, guys. So if you want to get these updates and you want to be ahead of the game, I suggest you start subscribing and dinging the bell to be notified whenever I go live and post content, because you do not want to miss it.